Well, hi guys, Coach Jerry here at The Protocol, and this is the joint mobility warm-up for the month of March. Most of the month is going to be spent training for a little friendly internal competition that we do in here called the Protocol's Fittest. So the three events, which are the deadlift, the push-up, and the row, have a few things in common. They're going to be intense on the shoulders, and they're going to be intense in the core and the hips. So this month's warm-up is going to be focused on those things. So even if you're not training for the Protocol's Fittest, this is still a great warm-up for those parts of the body that tend to be kind of stiff on us. So we're going to begin with a stretchy band, and we're going to be doing 3 exercises for the shoulder. The first one is called the band pull-apart. Now, your band may be different. You may have some of the flat ones like we have here. You can just grab onto those. I like to use these, but what I like to do here is just hold it with my thumb, externally rotate my hands, and create a little bit of a loop. And that loop kind of helps you keep the band in check. So the band pull apart, start from the front. You're going to pull the band apart against your chest and come back to neutral. Now, what's important about this is not only how I'm pulling this band apart with my arms, but also how I'm pulling it with my back. What I want to do here is I'm trying to get my shoulder blades down and in. I'm trying to squeeze my shoulder blades onto my back as I pull back. I don't know if the camera will catch the engagement here. But imagine if I stuck my thumb right in between your shoulder blades, you should be able to pinch my thumb with your shoulder if you can squeeze like that. So that is the band pull apart. We'll be doing 10 of those. The second drill is what we call the shoulder dislocates. I'm going to make my loop again. This begins with elbows straight. The band is going to be right up against your thighs. You're going to pull, keeping your elbows straight, up, over, and behind you, and have the band touch you on the back side here, and then come back over to the front. So over and over is 1 repetition. We're going to be doing 10 repetitions of this drill. The third exercise is, we call them face pulls. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hook this up to a secure anchor here on the wall. Make sure I have it nice and even on both sides. And the palms will be facing down when you're doing this one. And the thumbs will be out. The cue that I like to give people is you're trying to touch your thumbs to your earlobes. So it looks like this. So I'm letting my elbows flare out, and we kind of joke around in here. You're basically rowing wrong is how you're doing it. But in the process of doing it, you are warming up in the shoulders. Now, you can take different sizes of bands. The thicker bands have a harder resistance. You can also make some subtle adjustments between how far away you are or how tight you're choked up on the band. That can have an impact on how easy or how difficult it is to do. You don't want to kill yourself, but you want to find something that's appropriately challenging. So that's the first part of this warm-up. The second part of this warm-up is going to be for the hips, the core, and the lower back. We're going to start with a one-leg deadlift. Now, this is a one-leg deadlift that is designed to be a warm-up, so you don't want to go too heavy. I'm using a 12-kilo kettlebell. I'm going to place the left foot on one side of the belt. With my right hand, I'm going to hold the weight, reach back, keep my back leg straight and strong, get some tension, and stand up. You'll want to work on both sides here, and I'll do one from the side view so you can see it. From the side, it'll look like this. So I want to look like a T at the bottom, but this knee can be slightly bent. So you want to imagine this knee is bent as though I'm doing a regular deadlift. At the top, the abs and glutes contract. That is the one-leg deadlift. The second move that we're going to be doing is the side lunge. The side lunge is very similar to the Cossack squat, but works different muscles. So it's subtly different, and we're going to be doing a stepping version of it. So we're going to have our feet together. And what's great about the side lunge is regardless of how good or not so good of a lunger you are, you can still do this to some degree. You just may not get very far down. So both feet are going to point straight forward. We're going to push off to one side, bend this knee, keep the knees tracking over the toes, and sink down as far as you can go comfortably. Coming out of it, you're going to push off and bring your feet together. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. This can be done with a small kettlebell, but it's not necessary. That's a side lunge. And then the last one we're going to be doing is an exercise called the windmill. Again, I recommend starting doing this one without weight, but having a small weight overhead is something that can be added later after you've gotten the movement down. So for the windmill, we're going to take our feet just outside of shoulder width apart. We're going to point our toes 45 degrees in the opposite direction of the hand that is up. So in this example, my left hand is up. My toes are 45 degrees to the right. I'm going to put a gentle bend in the knee. The first move of a windmill is to shove the hips to the side. So if it's my left hand that's up, I'm shoving the left hips over and standing back up. Once we have this movement down, we're going to reach down with the other hand, and maybe you can connect your forearm to the inside of your thigh. Maybe you can connect your elbow to your knee. When you stand up, squeeze your abs and squeeze your butt. Maybe you can come all the way down and touch the floor with your fingertips just inside the right heel. So the move is hips first, then drive down. If you catch yourself bending with your back or going forward too much, you're going too far down. It's better to stop short of the floor if you're not able to maintain the movement. If I did this from the side, you should be able to imagine two panes of glass right here, one in the front and one in the back, and I'm not hitting those panes of glass. When you switch hands, switch toes, so now I'm 45 degrees this way, gentle bend, and now I'm shoving the hip to the right, and then moving down. The first thing you're going to notice with this exercise is you're going to have one side that's going to be significantly tighter than the other. Pay extra close attention to that side that's tighter on you. And make sure that you feel nice and warm and nice and loosened up before you start to hold any amount of weight overhead. So guys, that is the warm-up for March. We'll see you guys again soon.